Alright, this is my second attempt at doing a Paramotor live comm. The last time I didn't have my mic on. It's not much of a live comm without a mic. Anyway, this is my new Paramotor, and Tim, who's right there warming up, needs a helmet. He got us permission to fly in this awesome farm. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now, I'm going to warm up the Paramotor, buckle in. You can see we've got the wing set up there. The only bummer is you see the wind? It's coming almost right at us. So, yeah, that's not the perfect direction. I wish we could fly like towards the open space. I ended up walking it further. We'll see. But, going to warm up the Paramotor, make sure everything is cool, and do my thing. Oh, this is my new Paramotor, if you guys haven't seen it. It's an Air Conception Nitro 200. What they're most known for is being really light while still being powerful. But what thus far I've been happy about is it's just been really reliable, and that's a big deal to me. So I'm gonna buckle in, get going. I need to be really sure there's no sticks in my lines so that the wing hangs properly when I take my launch. Got a full tank of gas, about as heavy as I get, winter clothes. This should be cool. Alright, wish me luck.
Hey guys, Woody from the future here. I just wanted to quickly explain that the way my livecom system works at the moment is I have to push a button to talk. Otherwise it's completely silent. So there may be times during this that you'd expect to hear, say, just motor noise or something, and you don't. And that's why. I'm just not pressing the button that turns my microphone on. Also, this synchronized launch thing, completely not planned. I think I talk about that later. But anyway, if you're not hearing any engine noise right now and you would expect it, that's why. Because both my hands are flying the machine and not necessarily pressing the press to talk button.
Success! See all those birds just staying in that circle? They're probably in a thermal. I probably chased them away. Oh yeah, it's a little bit bumpy. Oh, there it is. So, if you see birds just standing there, not flapping their wings, there's a good chance they found a source of free altitude.
I'm watching this, realizing, I didn't explain what a thermal was, so I'll just do that real quick. For weird reasons I can't explain, the sun doesn't heat up the air. Instead, the sun heats up the ground, and the ground heats up the air. That's why it's warm on the ground and cold as you get up high. Anyway, that ground heats up the air, and we all know heat rises, so at some point there will be these columns of air shooting upwards because the warm air on the ground wants to rise, and that's called a thermal. And like I said, you can see birds like circling in the thermal doing their thing. I run through it and find it's bumpy. Because I have a motor on my back, I don't really need a thermal, so I prefer just nice, clean, classy air. But you get what you get, and you don't pitch a fit.
So, before I get into my thoughts and opinions on what's going on, vlog stuff, I want to give a shout out to G Fuel. They're running their buy one, get one free sale over Black Friday weekend, and that's a pretty big sale, so be sure to take advantage of it. It's an energy drink, and it really freaking works. It's like, I don't know, it's got probably sugar and caffeine, and it gives you the energy you want. Sometimes I take it before PKA to fire myself up. But, on a related note to them, the crazy thermal. But I was going to talk about Gamma Labs for a second because they're interesting to me. They were named recently, like, I forget what exactly the award was. Call it like Fast 500 Small Companies or something like that. But these guys have been like just busting their asses in. I hope it's not insulting to say like small-time entrepreneur, like just a ponytail and a dream, although none of them have ponytails. They're like jocks that go to the gym all the time. But, they've just been sort of working super hard and like trying to make their company a success forever. It's been like 5 years. And then 5 years later, overnight success, which is sometimes how it goes. I've seen that on YouTube, I've seen it in business, I've seen it in like all kinds of places, and I don't know, when I heard about it, I was just really psyched. Like, you guys who've watched me for a long time know, like, entrepreneurs are one of the things that really impress me, like, in a person. Like it's I don't know. It's just that someone who really rolls the dice on life and is risking something big. And, you know, rather than go for like the secure route, they go for the entrepreneurship thing and try to hit a home run. And it appears that they've done so. So, you know, shout out to Gamma Labs on your success. Good for you, bro. These colors are awesome. I like fall. I like all the seasons, but this fall is cool. Oh, Ross got up in the air. Awesome. There he goes. Ross and I took off at the same time. Well, we tried to. That wasn't planned. We were both there kind of warming up for a minute or two. And wouldn't you know it, I guess we both saw the same thing in the wind and inflated and started. So I was like, in my head anyway, like, all right, I can totally do this and stay out of his way. Not a problem. I don't know if he just had trouble with his launch or if he saw me and was like, forget it, I'm not doing a dual launch. But I hope I didn't mess him up. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I didn't intend to. So it's cold, and I really wish I had my gloves on. My throttle control is better when I'm not wearing gloves. So my plan was to launch and then put the gloves on afterwards. I didn't really consider the fact that I'd have to like let go of the throttle for so long. I don't know. I can do it. I can do it. This isn't a problem. I just have to do it. I did it. It was cool. You know, every time I do something new, it's really only unnerving the first time. After that, it gets cool. I'm flying. So I've been thinking, you know, there's a lot of things going on, like with my own vlogs. Casey Neistat stopped vlogging. I wanted to talk about that too. I got a bunch of things on my mind. I was thinking, like, one of the hardest parts about vlogging is living a life that's worthy of watching, right? You know, I bet if you think about your own life, if you're any normal person or whatever, it's repetitive. People don't want to, you know, check in every day. You just go to your normal job and do your normal stuff, and you know, you have to do something. Well, one way to vlog is to do something extraordinary all the time. That's what Casey Neistat did. That's what, I'm trying to think of his name, the other gigantic YouTuber, Smile a Lot. His name escapes me right now. But anyway, they do interesting things every day. They're out there with, like, blowing things up, or they're using high-speed cameras, or Casey Neistat and his $22,000 airplane seat. Not airplane, the seat. The ride he took was worth that much. That's crazy. And it's interesting, and it's captivating, and it makes you wonder, like, what the heck is this about? You want to see it. I wonder what that fire is. Is it under control, or there's so many fires in North Carolina right now, it just has my attention. Anyway, back on topic. I can tell you from experience, living a life worth watching is exhausting. There's no room for Netflix in the Casey Neistat lifestyle. It just doesn't work. So then the other way is like the Vlog Brothers plan, where they're just interesting people with interesting knowledge and things to say, but they pretty much just sit in their room and say it. And that works. I feel like I did that for years, though. That's kind of how I handled my gameplay. It was never, or rarely, about the game. It was mostly about what was between my ears and what I thought about, I don't know, politics and Google Fiber and technology and what have you, children and family, health, priorities, business. That's what I talked about during my gameplay, which kind of is, you know, what the Vlog Brothers do. So that's a cool thing. I don't know. I enjoy vlogging, but daily vlogs is really an endeavor for the very enthusiastic. And yeah, it's funny. I saw Casey's "This is the end of the vlogs," and you know, ever have like 5 reasons for doing or thinking something, and you say, "This is my reason"? That's how I interpreted his "This is the end of my vlog" thing. I'm going to gain some altitude because it's so bumpy right here. I think some of the other reasons he had, he just didn't want to share. Like, when you invite YouTube into your life, you also invite YouTube comments into your life. I once asked Casey, like, I think I asked if it had any impact on his relationship or something like that. And they said, yeah, that having, like, YouTube there, it's like having another person in your relationship. Like, there's 3 of them, you know, Casey, Candace, and us. And he probably was finished with us. You know, that everybody knows YouTube comments are so toxic. Imagine having that in your relationship all the time. It broke up, what was it, Jesse and Jessica? I forget. The Frank versus Frank couple. YouTube was a major part of just, like, how hard it was for them to stay together as a unit. And I believe it. You know, I didn't do it long enough, and Jackie and I have been together for 20 years. Like, this isn't really about me, but I do see how having a camera there all the time, not just the comments, but, you know, like, you know that this is being recorded, and this is getting uploaded, and this is getting judged, and it impacts the way, like, if that invades your alone time, then that's not always a positive thing. Casey, if you didn't watch his video, his reasoning for stopping was that he just wanted the next challenge. And I bet the truth is closer to he wanted his next job. You know, he wanted the job that was just a couple big-time videos, a couple, like, you know, amazing videos instead of daily good videos. You know, I think his videos were great, but, you know, like, maybe he wants to do something where, like, I don't know, he has more than a day to produce it, and he can build things that are, you know, like, culturally impacting. Just a thought. But, yeah, I suspect that it wasn't, this got too easy, I want my next challenge. I suspect a big part of it is, this is a little toxic. This is it's a little sick. You know, Kanye right now got hospitalized. I don't know what his deal is. I'd hate to speculate. But people have been bringing up the David Chappelle thing, where he was saying, like, you know, oh yeah, Martin Lawrence, you know, he had like a stroke or a heart attack or something, and was saying, man, I got the best sleep in my life. He's like, this is a tough guy. This is a tough guy who Hollywood kind of chewed up. And he's like, maybe the environment's just a little sick. And that's true on YouTube too. You know, sometimes the people there, they're just a little sick. And it's healthy to take a break from it. Although, probably not a good business move. So when it comes to me, I don't really know what's in my future for vlogging and such. I kind of like what I got going on now, which is vlogging as I feel like it. I mean, who doesn't want a job that they do when they feel like it? But, yeah, that's really working out for me right now. Ross is accelerating. Tim is on the ground. I wonder if everything's okay. He looks set up to launch. So I'm still really enjoying paramotoring. Like, it's crazy to me that not everybody is doing this. Like, oh, okay, I get it. It costs like 10 grand to, like, get equipment and get trained and stuff like that. So I'm on board with that. But gosh, it seems like it should be as popular as motorcycling is, right? For people that don't know, I've had motorcycles before too. I've actually had 3 of them, 2 Hondas and a Ducati. A thing that's interesting about motorcycles is, like, it's different than a car because you're out there and you're exposed. When I'm in a car, I don't feel like I've learned to run at like 70 miles an hour. But when I'm on a motorcycle, I feel like I've gained superpowers. You can accelerate and brake so fast, it's crazy. You're like a superhero. On a similar vein, when I book a flight on United, I don't feel like I've learned to fly. But when I'm in a paramotor, I'm flying. I'm like, look at me. Look at this. This is a privileged perspective. Most people don't see the world from this angle. I don't mean to say it makes me special. I feel like lucky is a better adjective. Like, I'm a superhero. There's, I don't, to me anyway, this paramotor thing, there's something special about it. So right now as I record this, it's Tuesday, and I haven't flown since Friday because it's been super windy, and that is one of the things about paramotoring. I guess as your skill set improves, more days are, like, you know, available to you because you're better at dealing with bad weather.
But and I've already experienced some of that. You know, I fly in stuff now that I wouldn't have flown in at first. Today's a day. It's a little bumpy today, but I'm doing fine. But I was really missing the ability to fly over this weekend. And my friend, you guys know Brad, he's like going away for Thanksgiving, so that was his last weekend around, and it just wasn't a good weekend to fly, and what a bummer. But back in the air right now, things are going good. Pretty excited. Losing a little altitude here. Maybe we'll go closer to the ground, see what's up. A more experienced pilot would probably drag his foot across that water. I'm told that's a ton of fun. But I'm still at a level where I practice my altitude control at like 10 feet. You know? So if something goes wrong, instead of crashing, I just add throttle and everything's fine, or pull some brake, get some altitude. On my way back, I was going to talk over that lake, but it got really bumpy and I wanted both hands to fly. I guess you call it a lake. I don't know. It's really beautiful right here. I like this. This is like my favorite thing to do. I went further than I thought. Right now I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the way back. Oh, there's my friend up in the air. That has to be the way. I can't tell if that's my friend with the black wing, or black and purple, or red and white. I think it's red and white, which would be the guy, Tim, that was on the ground last time we flew by. I don't know. We'll get closer. I need more altitude. Landing right here would be sketchy. It's a risky business. I think my friend Ross just landed. I'm usually like one of the first people up and last people down. And at first it just worked out that way. Often because like more experienced people were like helping me set up and get into the air. And then I like to watch them land to see what direction they chose. Now it's become almost like a point of pride. Like, yeah, I've got the most air time. Even though it's not really competition. I don't know. I just like being aloft. And right now I've got a thing where I'm trying to break in my new paramotor. There's like certain things you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to go at full throttle very long. And you're supposed to vary the engine speeds. And there's just like rules to breaking in a motor that don't exist after it's broken in. Or at least some of those don't exist. So I'm trying to get some hours on this thing so that, you know, it's properly worn in. And okay, I think it would run better if I adjusted the carb. It runs well, but I think there's more power to be had. And I'm trying not to do that while it's still in the braking phase, because you're supposed to run it rich while you're breaking it in. So that's the kind of reason that I'm trying to get some, you know, hours on the motor, get some airtime up here, and see what's up. So anyway, flying around, having fun. That cloud makes it seem like the sun's gone down, but it really hasn't. It's still up in the sky. It's just, you know, it's just dark out. Paramotor is like smooth air. Like when there's no bumps, it's real predictable. You can do like sharp turns and stuff. And the smoothest air is when the sun's first coming up or going down, typically. And so I don't want to land just yet. It's like the best air is coming. Woohoo! Maybe the sun is setting. It kind of feels like it. Trying to talk and fly low at the same time. You really get a sense of speed when you're near the ground, which is kind of cool. Like I'm flying down the road, staring at the windsock for a second, so I knew what to expect when I land. And I guess even flying, it's good to know what the windsock's doing. Got this song stuck in my head I heard on the drive here. It's like, I can make your hands clap. So I think Ross is taking pictures on the ground there. I can't see very well to be certain. And I think Tim and I have the same mindset, that we're just going to keep swinging by him, hoping to get pictures of ourselves. Ross is a super interesting guy, and one of the many jobs he's had in his life is a photographer. So when he takes pictures, oftentimes they come out amazing. You know, I've heard people talk about flying through their own wake like 100 times, and I just did it now for the first time. I'm like, that's what it's like. One thing that just occurred to me, I'm like, wow, it really is getting dark, and like maybe I should land. I'm wearing sunglasses. That totally impacts like my perception of how dark out it is. It's not that bad. I just have sunglasses on. Although sunset is coming. It's a notch brighter than I thought it was. I can't tell. He might be about to land. Nope. Just flying low. Nice throttle control, Tim. We flew here on Friday too, and it went about the same way. You know, I spent the first 2/3 of it kind of exploring around, and the last third just flying sort of low, and it's I don't know, it's fun to do both. I really like going places, I really like going high, and I really like, you know, skimming along the ground too. Maybe I've mentioned, I enjoy this. This is so, like, I wish I could take you guys with me and you'd be like, yeah, Woody, I want to do more. You'd get addicted, you get hooked. It's like heroin, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to come in for my landing soon. Let's hope that goes smoothly. I've been landing well for months now, though. I'm not that worried about it. Before I land, I got a bunch of things to check, like buckles to move and trimmers and this and that. So I gain a little altitude, and that way, sometimes my throttle control sucks while I'm doing my buckles. So I gain some altitude, so it's forgiving. Let's land. It's nice. I think Tim's landing first. Perfect. Now I need to land. Alright, I hope that works.
Yeah, multi-million-dollar deals, got $1 million deal. When I was younger, I would wonder how $1 million feel. And for real, it feel like I ain't even broke a seal. Cause when you drop hits, they want you to pick up the bill. Now my life is in Maryland, my heart is in Chicago. New York state of mind, but out LA, man, that's where I go. When I need to lay this shit down, so much on my mind, that's the reason I'm spitting now.